Salutations, everyone.
Hello.
So, we decided to do a special fireside chat. This is Comrade Spartacus.
Hello.
This is one of my so-called RED-Illuminati think tank affiliates.
Yes, circa like 2005, 2006.
Yes, we go back a long ways. How far?
To Bush's second term.
To Bush's second term, at least. This is, we are what you would call the MySpace left.
The MySpace left.
But we're not really left wing by the standard of the Zoomer left, who essentially has gone so far out of the ballpark that they call us, who were militantly opposed to Bush and Obama's endless wars, as right-wing conspiracy theorists.
Because we are anti-war.
Yeah, because...
And we are critical of NATO.
Yes, we always have been, long before, QAnon, and long before, the mainstream Republican Party even got the sniff of being anti-war.
And we were the first ones to tell you guys that the Democratic Party is owned by Wall Street.
Yes, we were telling you that.
Since at least 2011.
Even before that.
Before that, but like at least since then.
Yeah, since that time.
But before that, but yeah.
In the beginning, we met through MySpace. And
yes.
At this time, I
was
was
actually a young Republican group.
Yes, and at the time, I was still, coming out of the Reagan-Bush spell, and Mr. Spartacus here,
yes,
as he likes to term himself, he more or less was on board with that and pulled me out of that and pulled me into the anti-war scene.
Yes.
Right. So basically, how I don't let people, I don't let personalities lead me on. And by personalities, that's talking about, Caleb and Haas and Jackson, Henkel, and all these other folks. I don't report to those folks. I don't confide with them. Well, maybe Caleb sometimes, but Caleb doesn't tell me what to do. And I'll suggest things to Caleb, and Caleb will suggest things to me, but
we're all independent from one another.
But we're independent from one another. We do our own thing. We play by our own rules, and currently at this time we have taken a position where we're neither far socially left nor far socially right, but opposed to both the far left and the far right because they're toxic.
Yes, and they're narcissistic.
Narcissistic, toxic, and all about self-aggrandizement and brownie points and pleasing other people. We're not here to please you. We're here to tell it to you how it is.
They're all in it for entertainment rather than policy and change.
Shock value.
Yeah. All flash, no substance.
Yeah, all flash, no substance. At this time last year...
They're like the Buffalo Bills.
Right, they're like the Buffalo Bills, right.
Boy, I love losing Super Bowl. 0-4 in the big game.
Yeah, they're like the Buffalo Bills. Or they're like how the Dallas Cowboys are these days.
Yes.
Yeah, they're big huff.
All flash, no substance.
Huff and puff and huff and puff. Oh, look at us, we're big and great. And then when it really matters, they fall flat on their face.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of how we operate. Okay.
Like old school Tony Romo.
Right, old school Tony Romo. I know that most of you kids have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
but
like Tony Romo who? Who's Tony Romo?
Right, but these are football references, and that's how we, communicate with the general public. Because, if you really wanna engage with, normies as they're called,
yeah.
You gotta know some normie things. Okay, so Scott here, Spartacus, whatever you want to call him. To potato. My name's Pella, but whatever.
Yeah.
But anyhow, So Spartacus here is all about like football and stuff.
Yes.
I'm more of a professional wrestling type of guy, but that's how we communicate with the normies. We on a surface level engage our involvement in normie activities and try to know stuff that normies know better than the normies know them, while at the same time being more or less, how can I say it, intimately knowledgeable when it comes to political theory, political science, short-term history, long-term history, and general stuff that normies don't know.
Yes.
Right. We blur the lines between academia and general proletarian pastime activities, whatnot.
How the college left, they're interested in the movement and like the vibes, and while we're into the masses, you
Right.
want to reach the masses. You don't really care about a college scene and like your little section in your little political science class. We're interested in mobilizing real people, real ordinary people who want a better life for themselves and their families.
Right, and the way that you have to do it in the way our political apparatus is designed, you have to do it in a way where you can appeal to the masses without appearing to be foreign to the masses, because the masses will not take foreign ideas, and by foreign I mean you can't
It needs to be rooted in your personal experience.
It needs to be rooted in our personal experience,
in your personal culture,
and our collective culture.
like in South America, the Bolivarian Revolution.
Right, and it has to be rooted on terms that people can understand. You can talk about dialectical materialism and historical materialism and Marxist theory of what you call it, overproduction and surplus value and all that stuff. But that's not going to translate to folks who aren't really engaged with that sort of dialogue. At the same time, if they're not really engaged with that sort of dialogue, then you can't expect them to be on the up and up relative to intersectional theory, feminist theory, and all this other stuff, because they barely even know class contradictions. How are you going to reach out to people who don't understand class contradictions when you can't even when they don't even understand them themselves? Okay, you know what I mean? You can't be just like randomly attacking people for their ignorance. You have to gradually bring them along. You can't just boom 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 all at once. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, for the people involved in education like myself, I'm an educator professionally. What Pella is describing is the educational principle of scaffolding. You scaffold the material so you bring the students up on a gradual basis to the goal.
Right. So
baby steps.
So with the problem with the left today is that the left is, I have this saying, okay, that conservatives in 2022 are going 25 miles an hour when they should be going closer to 65 miles an hour. And the left, the people who call themselves left, progressives,
liberals,
radical liberals, even some socialists. Not all the socialists, but some socialists.
Mostly Trotskyists.
They're going 175, 180 miles an hour when they should be going 80 miles an hour. Conservatives should be going 65 miles an hour instead of 20, and liberals and the left should be going 80 miles an hour instead of 175, 180 miles an hour. And that's why we're having all these problems that we're having today, because nobody really knows what the other side is thinking. But they think they know what the other side is thinking, but they don't. It's all projection. And that's why you got to shatter the echo chambers and more or less get a feel for where people are at instead of thinking of where people are at.
I don't know if you agree with this, but it's like the fog bowl. It's like, you know, the Bears-Eagles playoff game that one year.
You know what? Yeah, it is. It is. And the fog is neoliberalism.
Yes.
The fog is neoliberalism. You see, we live under a very far right-wing, economically speaking, system, which is intersected with far left-wing social values. And this is
woke liberalism.
Woke liberalism. So we have far-right economics intersected with woke liberalism,
yes.
which is creating the toxic environment that we have today. And that's why we have a theory where we need to kind of pull both sides.
It's Wall Street imposed chaos.
Right. That's why we take a hard-line centrist position, even though we're vehemently opposed to neoliberalism as an economic system.
And we're extremely anti-Reagan.
Right, and we're extremely anti-Reagan. We take a socially centrist position because that's the position that most people can understand.
Yes, you want to unite all peoples.
We don't want to set people against each other. It's not left versus right. It's, as I said 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 99% versus 1%.
Yeah.
So
it's the people versus the plutocrats.
Right. So that's why we take this position relative to social issues that are neither extremely liberal nor extremely conservative. It's kind of we toe the line of moderation, but radical moderation.
We are proletarian Republicans like James Connolly.
Yes, like James Connolly, like Bobby Sands is a little radical, but
yeah,
in that vein, in that tradition, or Thomas Paine.
Yeah,
Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine is chief among our philosophical influences because Thomas Paine is the father of the American Revolution and was vehemently opposed to the monarchy, which we're vehemently opposed to.
Yes.
We're opposed to
down with the crown.
Ancient monarchism is integrated with modern bourgeois capitalism. The monarchy and capitalism are one in the same.
Yes.
And by today's standards, we're no longer in the feudalistic time period anymore. We're in a capitalist time period, but monarchism still exists under capitalist conditions. People who are above the law, who don't need passports to travel or driver licenses to drive, and who can do whatever the hell they want, that is not equality. That is an unequal society. We still have relics of feudalism clinging on in the 21st century when these relic institutions...
Monarchies are tax-subsidized parasites.
Right. And these institutions they do not belong...
They're the biggest welfare bums ever.
Right. They do not belong existing...
They just control a whole bunch of wealth that everyone else works for.
Any further into humanity's future.
Robespierre did nothing wrong.
Right. Robespierre did nothing wrong. Lenin did nothing wrong.
Yes, down with the Tsar.
Down with the Tsar, down with the crown, down with neoliberalism, down with monarchism and tech feudalism. All right? That's what we're all about, okay? We're not about, we're about reaching out to all the people with a message that they can understand. And a message that they can all understand is that, remember, the American Revolution was a revolution that was inspired by anti-monarchism and republicanism. So if you can unite people against, you know,
Revolutionary republicanism.
if you can unite people against you know, King Charles and the World Economic Forum, and remind people why, you know, the United States was founded, and it was founded so we wouldn't be under the boot of a monarch, then that's how you can get people on the same page. Otherwise, you keep playing into these culture war bullshit issues, you're just going to keep, like I say, keep saying, you're just going to throw water onto the electrical fire, and that needs to stop.
While the woke crowd hates the Betsy Ross flag, we love the Betsy Ross flag.
That's right. We love the Betsy Ross flag. We also love the red flag, too.
Yes, we love both flags.
But the red flag still flies below the Betsy Ross flag. Because we're Americans first.
We are American Republicans.
Right. We're American.
We are patriots to the American Revolution.
American classical Republicans.
Yes.
Not Reagan Republicans, not Ron Paul Republicans.
Not Bush Republicans.
Classical Republicans.
Yes.
Right. And that is something that needs to be brought back. Classical Republicanism, and that's what Spartacus and I have decided to bring back.
Yes. Old school Republicanism.
Anything else you got to say?
I'm good.
All right. Well, this was our random off-cuff special edition with Comrade Spartacus here.
Yeah.
And, you know, my name is Comrade Pella. God save our American state.
And God bless the revolution.
Signing out.